Hello everybody, Jonathan Reeves here with another Vectorworks tutorial. So today I thought it would be nice to take a look at customizing doors in Vectorworks and all the amazing things that you can do with the customizable door object. And these are obviously something that occurs on nearly every architectural project you're ever going to have. So we're going to take a look at how we kind of created this file you're seeing here. And we're also going to explore the resource manager for managing libraries of doors. So I hope you enjoy the tutorial and thanks for watching. So we're going to start off with a totally blank file. We're going to select the door object from the tool sets, and we're going to basically just pop into the settings of the door object. And one thing that I always would like to recommend is you always remove the shim gap and turn on show shim gap. So the shim gap is the packing around the door. And in the UK, we generally just don't do this at the design stage. You might turn it on later for more detailed drawings. So what I'm going to do is just duplicate a few of these doors. I'm pressing Command D to kind of duplicate them at 2 meter spacings. So let's take a look at the doors in 3D. And as you can see, they're just your basic flush doors with no kind of detail or anything. So what we'll do, we'll kind of scroll down and we'll make a class. I'm going to make a new class called door hyphen, let's call it beach. So what we can do, we can essentially assign a material through the class by clicking use at creation, and then basically go and select the texture that we would like to apply to that particular type of door. So it takes a few seconds to load up sometimes, the textures, depending on how many texture libraries you have available. You can see I've got quite a few, and I'll talk about libraries a bit more in some other videos. So we're searching here. You can see absolutely tons of different textures come up, and they all ship with Renderworks as standard. I do have some really great libraries I've developed of my own, and so I'll take a look at those later with you. Let's just go through, and I like the look of that one. So we'll double click to download it. And if you haven't already downloaded the content, you'll notice it will take a few seconds. So these are stored on the cloud, and they'll download locally when you need them. Now you can speed up things by actually kind of pre-downloading them. Let's take this one here, and we'll do a similar thing. We'll kind of basically click on to this one. So again, click on it. Let's go to class, new class. In fact, we'll actually just assign this one we've already made to the oak class. So this one's got some oak texture assigned through class onto the door. Okay, so let's have a look at how we can actually go into the settings of the door and make a little bit of difference. So we're going to click onto the settings button. You can also double click onto the object as well. And it'll take a second, it'll open up the door settings. So kind of typical things that we might want to do are all available on the left side panel. Now we're not going to look at everything today, but I just really want to show you how easy it is to create a variety of different types of doors. So for this particular flush type of door, I'm just going to put some vision panels in. And you can see I can easily adjust the size and the height and the kind of range and the offset of these vision panels as well, just by playing around with different numbers and so on. So it's quite straightforward. In a moment we'll click OK. We'll take a look at the door, we'll update now, and it'll have some vision panels. So that's cool. We've got the new geometry there coming in. So let's have a look at going into settings a bit more. And I think what else we need on the door to add a bit more detail is probably to add some door hardware. So we're going to go down to the hardware section, include hardware. And again, Vectorworks ships with a really massive range of different types of hardware. So we've got all the kind of different sort of commercial and residential sort of levers and knobs, that kind of thing. Now, if you do want to, basically what you can do is click Manage Hardware, and then basically you can add additional door hardware libraries. So when you do this, you click Add. Okay, we'll want you to just fill in some data here. So just quickly, I'm just going to A and tab through just to kind of complete something. I'm at this stage where I'm not really bothered about the actual kind of detail information there. And I really just want to scroll down and show you the massive library of door handles that Vectorworks actually comes with integrated. So I'm going to go for this nice little kind of lever handle here. Click Done. And you immediately kind of see it on the preview. And as soon as you come out, you'll actually see that on the door itself. So really nice, not too detailed, but enough detail for this sort of 1 to 50, 1 to 20 level of door. That's really cool. Okay, so let's take our second door. Let's see what we can do with this one. We'll double click onto this one. We're going to go into leaf. And for this one, we're going to change from flush to panel door. So when you get panel doors, you'll get a bunch of different settings pop up. So what I can do in the panel of the door is divide that into maybe 6 vertical panels. And I could play around the horizontal panels, but I quite like the look of that already. And let's go back and include hardware. And I'm happy to accept the defaults on that particular handle. And we'll click OK. And you can see immediately I've got a really nice, totally different styled door already. So what we'll do, we'll kind of carry on working through in this way. We'll make a new class for this particular door. So again, let's call it door-maple. Let's have a look at the textures here. Click textures. So we'll go into our texture library again and we'll search for maple and it will pop up with all the references to maple. Again, you can see quite a few of these are on the cloud at the moment. The ones without the cloud icon we've already downloaded. So if we go for those, they'll be a little bit faster to apply. So we'll go for that one this time. And you can see it immediately applies it to the object through class. Now the great thing about this is when it's done through class, it does mean that you can edit the class and then globally change the texture or materials of all of the doors in the entire project. So whenever you can apply graphic attributes or textures and materials through class, you're onto a winner. Okay, so for this one, we're going to go for a panel door. But let's try something a little bit different. We're going to go for some horizontal panels here. Let's go for 5 there. And let's have a look at how this looks with some hardware on as well. So again, maybe we'll kind of just choose one of the ready-made standard hardware settings. I'm not sure which one we're going to go for. Yeah, let's go for that one. But you can see there's a really big range. You can always model your own, but there's really no need to because pretty much all the standard types of door hardware and doorknob are there. Not sure I like that one, but that kind of gives me a bit of an impression of how that could look. But I really like the door. I like the paneling on that door. That's nice. So we'll just pop back into the settings, change that hardware out one more time. The door hardware library is actually a default library that you can open up as its own file. And it's a really cool little file to explore. You can even make your own kind of customized door handles here and import them from manufacturers and so on as well if you really need to be that precise. But really it's just a representation just to show the client how that would look. And I much prefer that little door handle there. Very, very nice. Good, so I hope you're going with an understanding about the different types of doors. Now what I'm going to do here is double click E for eyedropper. I'm going to pull up the eyedropper tool and check plugin parameters so that I can actually pull up and copy the settings from that door to the other door. So that's going to save me a little bit of time in terms of it's already got the class, the texture and the door hardware. What I wanted to do on this one is simply double click, go into the leaf and really just want to show you what it's like to have a glazed top panel. So basically we can kind of put in 2 panels here. You can see the top panel is going to be glazed. If I click OK, but actually if I click single panel, actually before we do that, you'll see instead of having any kind of timber in that glazed panel at all, you'll just have a really nice glazed panel at the top. And this is quite a typical kind of door that you would see, you know, for a front door with a glazed light above and a little bit of paneling below. So that's nice, I'm happy with that one. Let's move on to our final door here for this little set. So again, I'm going to eyedrop from there and copy onto there just to copy all the settings through from that door to the other one before I kind of start amending. So we'll double click onto this one and we'll open up the door dialog settings again. And I think for what we'll do for this one, we'll make the structural width a little bit larger. Let's go for 1600. So we've got one big door, but let's change that out to be a double leaf door. Because of the parametric nature of all the Vectorworks objects, it's really elegant and really easy to use the dialogues to modify them. And one of the things I do love doing sometimes for clients is showing the doors actually semi-open. So you can kind of have them anywhere open between 0 and 90 degrees. So that's really, really cool. Just to kind of indicate that door is opening in that direction. And that's quite a nice little aspect to the door object. So what do you think? We'll kind of have a spin around. Those are looking pretty cool. Okay, so we'll go back to plan view. We'll select all those doors and let's just kind of make a copy of them all. So I'm going to hold down the Alt key, just drag off a copy, and that will give us something else to work with for our other doors. So let's pop back to 3D isometric view. Personally, I really like to model in isometric view, not perspective, but you can actually change that if you prefer the default to be perspective. quite like the isometric nature of modelling. So we're going to double click into this particular door. What we're going to do is go to the leaf, and we're going to kind of change those panels. Let's go for 2 over 2, you know, just a traditional 2 over 2 type of door. Basically, let's see what else we can do. Let's go to fan light. Okay, so when you tick the fan light within the structural opening, you'll notice that you actually get the fan light in the door. If I was to make the structural opening a little bit larger, then the door would sit within that normal size. So it's kind of increase that to 2400 potentially for a project if needed. So click OK. Let's have a look at the door itself. You can see I kept it the same size, but you can see how the fan light works up above there. So that's no problem when you've got fan lights above doors. Okay, that's cool. Let's move on to another type of door here. So what are we going to do with this one? Let's double click onto this one. We'll bring up our settings and let's have a look at what we can do. So I think for this one, I just want to really show you, we can also add side lights, by the way, and I'll maybe come on to that in a bit later in the video or another video. But what I wanted to do here was adjust the height of the top panel. You can see it's really flexible. Yeah, that's cool. And I wanted to put some bars into this. So you'd often have some glazing bars in there. So I'm just going to have a couple of glazing bars, click OK. And you can see I've got a really nice little kind of door with some nice bit of detail on the paneling. And then, you know, again, a very typical kind of English front door that you might see. So for this set of double doors here, let's double click into the settings on this particular door. And let's have a look at how we can change the type of door here. So as well as double leaf doors, we've also got complex swing doors, and we can also go for different types of operation. So you can see we've got X and O's. X is actually open and O is actually indicates closed. Strangely enough, you might think it would be the other way around, but that's how it works in Vectorworks. So we can basically make a nice 3-panel door. And if I increase the structural opening size, so we've got 2 fixed panels there and then the opening door in the middle. So that's pretty nice. Yeah, that's really cool. So I hope you're enjoying seeing how easy it is to make these lovely sets of doors. Okay, so let's carry on. I wanted to show you also with the doors with sort of vision panels, you can easily change the shape of those. So if you want more porthole type vision panels, that's very, very straightforward. You can just do that with an option there as well. That's pretty cool. Okay, so let's move on and let's tweak this panel door here. So at the moment we've just got some horizontal panels. Really what I wanted to do was just show you, let's introduce a bunch more here. Let's go for 3 and yeah, 6 is fine in the vertical sense. So let's increase the width of the style. So there's a lot of adjustability. It really is very, very flexible. And you know, the vast majority of doors you'll be able to create straight away with the raw Vectorworks object. But there are opportunities or occasions when you do need to come up with something even more flexible. So what I'm going to do on this particular one, I'm going to go to Leaf and include some architraves. Now the architraves are really nice, and again you can get them to actually fit to the wall thickness. As well as architraves, I'm also going to go to Custom Leaf. Now when you go into the Custom Leaf, what Vectorworks does, it loads in a bunch of predefined 3D models up some different types of options. So these are the kind of, you know, the doors that you wouldn't be able to create natively with the plugin object. These are actually bits of 3D modeling that will basically fit into the door opening size that you've actually specified. And this is really clever because basically it means that you can kind of create any kind of door you can possibly imagine or model. And what you'll notice is you can actually kind of get in and edit not only the geometry, but also things like the textures and materials. So let's just take a look at that. So for this particular door, I'm going to go to my resources manager. I'm going to change the preview, by the way, of that door, just so you can see that is the door leaf coming through. So let's right click and edit the 3D symbol. And here is the actual little 3D model that's put into that opening. Now I don't really like the texture on it, so I'm basically going to click and use my classes to apply the oak material. I could, if I wanted to, go and edit the geometry as well, but I'm happy with that. And that's really cool. And I think finally I would just quite like the architraves to match the texture for the door. So I'm just going to pop into my settings once again, go down to classes. And this is an area that you can see all the different elements of the door are available to be modified through different classes. So sometimes you just have to set up a few different types of door class or material class to apply those different elements to. So hopefully you can see the architraves are now going to update, be the same material as the lovely timber door there. Yep, I'm pretty happy with that. That's cool. And that looks really, really nice. So that was the custom leaf door. And you can actually add to the default custom leaf library by going into it. You have to open it up and copy and paste in your own symbols. So this is something I'll do on my advanced training courses. Okay, so what are we going to do with this one? Pretty happy with that. It's a sort of fairly traditional English front door. Let's double click. Really what I wanted to do was just pop in and show you that if you would like maybe to fiddle around with the sort of size of the object itself, you can do that. Let's just have a bigger top panel height. We're going to drop that down to 1100. Yeah, that might be a little bit too much. Let's go with it for now. And, you know, it's quite a big panel of glass, so you're going to want to subdivide that into maybe 2 by 2 to get some sort of kind of glazing bars, really, inside that top panel. Let's go to door hardware. Again, let's adjust the height of the door handle. So we can kind of easily type in the height and the offset for our door handles there. And check out our door. Yeah, I like the look of that. Possibly a bit large, the glazing section. So it's easy to do. I just double click back into the door and basically I can essentially just adjust the height of that panel. Let's go for about 900 for that upper panel. You can see the bottom panel automatically adjusts for me. So all this parametric modeling is going on, you know, within the object that Vectorworks has created, the door object. Unlike having to model this, say, in SketchUp, you know, where you would have to literally model all the geometry that you wanted, you can see how incredibly flexible the door objects are. So for this particular one, I'm going to go and turn off the 3D open so we can see that door closed again. I really like the way you get a little preview as well. So you can actually kind of preview the rendering and the 2D plan while you're working on the objects. So that's a really nice little feature. So I'm going to go for pocket doors, pocket by part. And you can see there won't look much difference in the 3D, but on plan they will. But if you actually do go to 3D open and open those up a bit, let's go for 90 degrees. You can see those doors slide apart and that's looking cool. So we'll make a final adjustment on the leaf of that door. Let's have a couple of panels there horizontally and let's just decrease that to 3 and that looks a bit cleaner. Yeah, really nice sort of, again, traditional kind of by-part pocket doors. Very, very straightforward. That's looking good. And I really, really love the fact when you can show them open for a client and show how different spaces sort of connect to each other and sort of interlink. So that's pretty nice. Okay, so I also wanted to show you how to make a library for your doors. So I'm going to go ahead and make a new folder in my resource manager called Door Hardware. When we click OK, basically we can select those particular hardware symbols that we've used in the project and drag them into that folder. You can see it's a really nice way to organize your resources within a file, particularly as things get a little bit more complex. So I'm going to go ahead and make another new folder for the textures. So let's call this Door Textures. Of course, this is going to be our Renderworks texture folder. Click OK. And once again, we can just drag those resources directly into that particular type of folder. You will note that you can only drag in the same kind of resource, so just make sure you're only selecting the textures there in that circumstance. Excellent, so that's looking good. So what I really want to show you now is how to build libraries of styled doors as well, so that you can store these in your resource manager. Now at the moment the door is unstyled, so what we're going to do is go ahead and select the rather catchily titled New Plugin Style from Unstyled Plugin. So we're also going to create a folder called Door Styles for this to drop into. And basically let's edit the door name, just call it Door Style A, and click OK. And you'll see immediately that will actually generate itself not only a folder, but within that folder there's going to be a new door style. There it is. So we can easily just change the preview. I really like this, just change it to OpenGL and so on. And basically, let's select our second door. Let's right click, and you'll see you can also do the same action down from the object context menus. New plugin style from unstyled plugin, very catchy. Let's right click again, and basically this will open up the dialog. Let's call this one door style B, I think. Excellent. Now the idea of door styles is that you store these away in your resource manager so you can easily reuse them on different projects. And the great thing about style doors is when you change aspects of the style, it will actually change globally all aspects of the door. But with door styles, you can actually unlock certain edit characteristics such as the width and the height. So I'm going to demonstrate this in a moment. I'm going to go ahead and right click and just change both the render and the preview thumbnails again. So not only do you have the preview and the render mode within the big dialog, you'll see that you've also got under the data section just above a larger preview too. So we'll go ahead and make a couple more styles while we're here. I like the look of this one. Let's right click or go to settings and drop down to style, basically click OK, and let's call this door style C so it follows on from our other door styles. OK, C. Good. Click OK, and that will be stored away in our folder too. So you can see it's quite rapid. Once you've actually got some doors in the project, it's pretty straightforward in that you can actually kind of build up the library pretty easily. And again, we'll just kind of update those previews. That's fine. Excellent. So just updating the larger preview here and the larger render mode. Let's put that in OpenGL. Just gives you a nicer preview. So when you're working, you can rapidly identify the doors you need. So what I'm going to do, this final door, I'm going to demonstrate the power of styles. So we'll right click. We'll basically select style, new plugin style from unstyled plugin one more time. Click OK. This is going to be door style D, but what we're going to do on this particular one is we're going to unlock some of the editability. So I'm going to go back to general, and I'm going to unlock the width, and what else should we do? Let's leave the width flexible. Let's unlock the configuration, maybe the top shape as well, and I think that'll be okay just for now. So we've unlocked those three things. So what it means is those are the only three things that we can actually edit for the individual door. So you'll see how this works. If I actually just duplicate off a door from the, let's copy this one off. That's cool. So when I go to general, you'll notice that everything else is grayed out apart from the things that I unlocked through style. So these are available for me to edit freely by sort of individual options, if you like. So I can even make that 1600 wide and set of double doors, but the door leaf itself is still coming from the style. So I can't actually edit any of those. You'll notice everything else is grayed out. So the only way to actually edit those is go into the settings. Another nice little tip here, if you hold down the Alt key and click on the little arrows, you'll see that you can collapse all of the individual widgets, or you can open just one or two of them up at a time to work on them. And that's really cool because there's quite a lot of widgets available. You don't always need to go into the big settings dialog in order to change these things. But we will do now. We'll go in, we'll go to general, and you'll see that here everything again is locked out because I'm trying to edit the settings of the door. The only thing I can change maybe are the things that were unlocked through the style options. So things like maybe the door top shape. You can see that's pretty nice. We can just play around with a few different types of door top. Gives you a bit more flexibility as well. So I hope you understand the power of styles. Let's just demonstrate this one more time. So this time I'm going to select the original door. Going to go and actually do edit style rather than settings. Now when I edit the style, that means everything is available to be changed. So now everything is unlocked. So for example, I can go to my leaf. Let's have a look at changing the number of horizontal panels. Let's just change that down to 3. And let's click OK. Now watch carefully. Both sets of door panels will now be only sort of 3 sections wide. And that's happened not only on that door, but on the other one. Even though they look quite different, they're the same style of door. It's just that I've unlocked some of the characteristics like the width, the opening size, and the top shape in this particular circumstance. So in a way, what this gives you is all the flexibility of a symbol where you change one thing and they all change, with the variability that you require for certain plugins like doors and windows, those kind of things. So the other lovely thing is, as I said, we can easily store these away in a library, and if we right click we can add that selected file to our favorite library. Now this means it will be permanently available for you. So I've already got some libraries here that I'm going to kind of add it into this folder here, and basically this means whenever I'm working with Vectorworks I can quickly access the resources I need. And I've actually been developing loads of different libraries lately. I do sell quite a few of these on my website. So please have a look in the link in the description if you'd like to sort of have a look and see what libraries are available. I've got things like walls and slabs and roofs, but I've also got loads of things like textures and also individual symbol libraries of furniture as well. Okay, brilliant. So just to demonstrate, here I am in a new file. And let's pretend I'm starting a new project. It's very straightforward because I can quickly go to my library, click onto doors, click on door styles, and basically with a click I can essentially drag and drop in the door style from that previous project, but then I can always unlock it and start to alter it. So it's a great way to store your plugins and keep them efficiently stored in a great big library of doors and windows. Now this is one of the really key benefits of 3D and BIM workflow. Is not the content creation the very first time, that still takes a little bit of skill and expertise. It's the ability to reuse things between different projects, reuse 3D data and also information that might be embedded. So you can see it's really straightforward. I can click replace, and it's already bringing me up a library of suggested door types. These are the ones that ship with Vectorworks. But if I go onto my own doors, I can quickly replace with one of my doors that I've used on a project before that I liked. So it's as easy as that. So I do encourage you to build your own libraries, and building libraries and managing them in the resource manager is one of the most powerful aspects of Vectorworks' sort of resource management side. And it's a really important skill to learn. So please do check out my other libraries, and say I'll give you a quick tour around those in another video, and we'll kind of take a look at how we can just replace that door one more time. I thought maybe drag and drop, but actually that doesn't work. With doors, it does work with other things like textures and things. So what you need to do is click on the door. Try right clicking, that didn't work either. But basically go up to the object info, click replace, and then immediately we're into the library where we can actually replace that door with another style. So just to finish off this video, I wanted to share an exciting new announcement with you. We've been working really hard on the new Vectorworks website that we've been developing, and I'm really proud to share a little bit of this with you, and it's up and running now under the domain vectorworksbim.co.uk. So here's the homepage. I hope you like the look of this, and there's a really good source of knowledge for everything on Vectorworks, both through to help you decide which product to get, with some good advice, sort of helping you decide what the right product for you is. Of course, there's lots of information here on my training courses as well. So this will detail all the different types of training we do. Obviously at the moment we're doing mainly online training, but we're doing that all over the world, which is fantastic. We do hope to be doing on-site again and in-house again soon, once the situation allows for it. So do check out the training we can offer. And I'm really excited to share with you the new products we've been developing. We've been keeping busy, so I've made loads of different sort of product libraries here. These are amazing sort of things like texture libraries. There's 120 textures there. People, trees, cars, hatches, that kind of thing. I also really love the 3D libraries that we've been putting together. Now these are fairly meticulously constructed out of really high quality 3D models, but they also have really nice 2D graphics, both rendered graphics and graphical graphics. You'll see what I mean. So these are available and you can put them straight into your resource manager. You can even add them as favorite files and quickly access those and use them on the projects where needed. They'll also explain and show to you how to make a project, but they're only £10, an absolute bargain at the moment. So check those out. Let me know what you think, guys. I'd be glad of any feedback you have on the website as well. But I do hope you enjoy this new resource that we've been creating for Vectorworks users. And the libraries particularly I'm very proud of. So thanks ever so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.